Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Brian with Class A Life. Today I'm going to do a little video about training your dog. This is my girl Dory, which a lot of you know. Dory just turned 7 years old last month. And everybody tells me she is the most well-behaved dog that they've ever seen. Okay, so I'm not a professional dog trainer, but I've had 3 dogs, all big dogs, all potentially aggressive breeds. But so here's the thing with that is even what would be considered to be an aggressive breed dog doesn't have to be aggressive. There's no such thing as a bad dog. It's the owner that's bad. It's all in how the dog's trained. The way the dog acts is how the dog is trained, from a puppy on up, right? So here's the thing. I've had her since she was 3 months old. Okay? Anything she does, it's not her fault. It's my fault. Because I didn't train her properly. And I didn't train it into her. Okay? The first thing is, I have never, ever, ever laid a hand on this dog in anger in her whole life. So when she does good, I acknowledge that. I celebrate it. You know, good girl, good girl, good girl. See how she reacts to that? Because she knows it. She knows it well, right? I never tell her she's a bad dog, because she's not a bad dog. If she does something that's bad, that's not on her, that's on me as the owner. I'm the one that trained her. She does things according to how I trained her, right? So, and this goes with puppies too, right? Any dog just wants to please you. So when you train a dog, think of it as you going to a different part of the country where you can't speak the language. Now, you're standing in front of a whole room of people, and they want you to sit in one particular chair, but you can't tell which chair is that chair. So you go to where they think they want you to sit, and you start pointing at chairs, and they're going, no, 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 right? You go to the other side of the room, start pointing to chairs. Sit down on a couple of chairs, they're going, no, no, no. Well, now you're starting to get a little bit frustrated. So you go back over to where they want you to go, because they're pointing, right? And you can see that. So you go back over to where they want you to go. And you're pointing at all these chairs. And finally you get frustrated. And you pick a chair and you just plop down in it. And everybody goes, yay! Well, that's kind of how a dog learns. When you're training him, if you want him to have rollover, for instance, you have to train him in steps to be able to get there, so that he understands, or she understands, what you want them to do. Okay, here's the first thing to know when you're training any dog, and that is, look out, is, give me that. A tired dog is a well-behaved dog. Take them out, take them for a nice long walk. If you skateboard, if you bike, if you rollerblade, e-biking, you got to tire them out a little bit. When they're tired out, they're more apt to listen. And then you have their full attention. So now she's got this ball, and that she's all wrapped up in that. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick my hand in my pocket, and I'm gonna pull out a treat. Dory dog. What's this? What's this? See, she knows what this is. Can you sit? Good girl. Dory, down. Lay down. Good girl. Good girl, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, what a good girl. Oh, you're such a good girl. Yeah, you're such a good girl. See, I'm acknowledging what she did right and rewarding her for it. Right? And that's how she knows that you want her to do a specific thing. So now, what are you doing? Where's that ball? Go give me that ball. Get me that ball. See, right now she's going, some more treats? Am I going to have to work for this, or are you just going to give it up easy? She's looking for the easy give up. Nope, you're going to have to work for this one, my girl. Where's that ball? Where's that ball? She's not getting it. Oh, there she is. Now she's getting it. So now, what I'll do is, as soon as I pick up her stick, she knows I'm going to throw the ball. Oh, she grabs the ball. Give me that ball. All right. Any and every dog just wants to please their owner. That's all there is to it. And so now you, as the owner, have to learn how to communicate with your dog. Do it in short spurts, right? So let's see if I can teach her to roll over. This might take a couple of lessons. Here, let me set you guys up, and then we'll test this out. Dory dog. Want to learn tricks? Want to learn tricks? Dory, roll over. Dory, roll over. Rollovers. 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 Oh, good girl. Good girl, can you rollovers? Rollovers. Rollovers. Good girl. You do rollovers. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You rolled overs. You rolled overs. What a good girl. What a good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So that's kind of basically how it's done. Now, you just have to be consistent in the training. You got to remember with a dog, consistency is everything. If you're not consistent, they're going to forget what they learned. But if you're consistent with it, and even the basic ones, sit, stay, lay down. Every once in a while, you have to go back and revisit those, because that's it's good to just remind them every once in a while. And once you do that, you'll be training a dog is easy. You don't have to pay a trainer hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do what you can do with a little time and patience. Patience being the key, because not all dogs learn the same. Some dogs are a little hard-headed, some dogs are stubborn, and some dogs just want to do whatever they can to please you, like this one, right? But see, this one knows, right? She knows that as long as she listens to me, she's going to get all the love and attention she can handle. So that's why, see, now she knows. So training her to do something new is not hard, because she knows what the outcome is going to be, right? Right? Yeah, so let's try that again. Did you want to roll over? Let's do rollovers. Gonna roll over. I will start from a winning position. New rollovers. New rollovers. Oh, good girl. Okay, rollovers. Okay, rollovers. Gotta rollovers. Good girl. Did you rollovers? Rolled overs. You rolled overs. Good girl. Good girl. Here it is. Now, if I was to do that another 10 or 20 times, then by the end of the session, she would have it. And that is how to train your dog. Right, my girl? Hang on a second. See? Now, she's so well trained that as soon as I stick my hand in the pockets for a treat, she knows I'm going to ask her to sit. So, she's sitting already. Dory, gonna shake a paw? Good girl, look at her shake a paw. She knows. She wants to do whatever she can to please me, because she knows it means a snack, even if it's just a tiny one. Dory down. Good girl. Look at how fast she dropped. That was amazing. That was amazing. Dory, can I sit? Sit. No, I didn't ask for paw. Now you're just being a ham. Good girl. Good girl. So, there we are, people. Training a dog is not hard. Sorry about that. Training a dog is not hard if you learn how to speak dog. And they want to learn your language. She knows so many words. If anybody has a dog and you say the W word enough, as soon as you mention it, that dog's got his ears perked, because he knows what that word means. Same thing with snacks, food, supper, anything that the dog wants, right? And what they want is to please you. So just remember, there's no such thing as a bad dog. I've seen pit bulls that look vicious, but the worst thing they would do is come up and lick your face off, because they're just so friendly and they're loved and they're not abused, and they don't know what hardship is. Hardship to them is having to wait that extra half hour before supper time. That's, if you do it right, that's, And if a dog does something wrong, it's never the dog's fault. It's never, ever, ever the dog's fault. It's the owner's fault because the owner missed something in the training. Now, you're going to get the odd animal who, for some reason, is harder to train, or is just an aggressive animal. But even still, if you show that animal enough love, if you show that dog enough love, they will turn around. The thing is with a dog is they just want to know they're safe, and that the person that they care about the most, the person that's in their life, isn't going to hurt them. Once they know that, the potential of that dog is endless. You can teach just about any dog to do anything within their means, within their scope, right? You know, you can't teach a little chihuahua to scale a 5-foot fence, right? That is just physically impossible, and you're setting a dog up for failure to ask him to do that. So when you train a dog, you start small, right? You just gotta have their attention. So, you know, exercise them first. Like I said, a tired dog is a well-behaved dog. Once you exercise them, and you have treats or their favorite toy or whatever their high value item is, whether it's a certain treat, whether it's a certain toy, what have you, you know, please tend to use a toy, because they don't want to have to pack treats on them all the time, right? So that's why most police dogs you see, when they do something right, when they do a takedown, when they sniff out drugs or whatever, right, they get the toy. A lot of police dogs are trained with toys because, like I said, they don't want to have to pack treats around. Some of them will for special circumstances. You know, or snacks for midday, because a police dog is out all day, you know. So, yeah. But your average pet, yeah, there's mine, hiding in the shade, waiting for the next training session. Right? Okay, let's try another training session. Dory, come here. Dory, stay. Dory, you stay. Stay there. Now I'm gonna walk away. Can you see her back there? There she is. Stop. Oh, stop. Dory, stop. Okay, so that was a little too long. So let's do this again. Dory, stay. Dory, stay. So go back there. Come here, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. There it is. I probably walked away about 15 feet from her. She's focused on a bee right now. So let's try it again. We'll do it a little further. Dory, sit. Good girl. Who stay? I'm gonna walk over to this table over here, and I'll call her to me. Nope, nope, nope. So now, because she didn't do it, I don't give her shit. I don't tell her she's a bad dog. I just don't acknowledge it. Bring her back. Dory sits. Dory stay. Now she's going wondering what's going on. How come I didn't get a treat for that? Because she didn't do it right. Go over here. Nope. 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 She's not listening now. Come over here. Dory, sit. Stay. Who stay? Who stay? And if you gotta reinforce it, then reinforce it. Dory, stay. Dory, stay. Dory, stay. Come on, Dory. Come here, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. What a good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. What a good girl. Oh, you're such a sweetie, sweets. What a good girl. What a good girl. You're such a good girl. How come you're such a good girl? All right, there it is. Let's try that one more time. Dory, sit. Stay. Stay. Sitting in the stay position. Stay. Now I'm going to walk away. Stay. Walk over here. Still sitting. Come on, Dory dog. Good girl. Good girl. What a good girl. Good girl. Lots of treats. Lots of loves. Lots of loves. See, now with her, I'll give treats to start out a session. Oh, bad sunlight. But hang on, I just gotta get you in a better light here. I'll use treats to start out a session, but I won't keep doing it. For most dogs, attention is enough. You want to use treats to start out, but if you can avoid not using them, that's even better. That's even better. See, with her, she also works off attention. She loves attention. So when we train, if it's a new thing to her, we'll start out with treats, because for her, she's food motivated. That's her currency. So I will start out like that, but her other currency is also love and attention, right? Yeah. Back in the bushes. It's a little bit warm outside here, so she's in the shade. Yeah, so that's basically it. Dog training 101. So, and you can hire somebody to do this if you don't think you're up for it. But it's never ever the same as if you as the owner can do it. If you as the owner can do it, it reinforces the lesson that much more. So they will always do it for you. The thing is, when you get somebody else to train your dog, they're going to train them their way. And it's very easy for you to miss something and have them go backwards in the training. Whereas if you could just do a little homework to figure out what you want them to train them to do, and then you know, take them out and train them gradually to get there. You know, it's kind of like learning how to speak English. You didn't learn how to speak English with one lesson. It took many, many, many lessons. Same thing with a dog, right? If you want a dog to roll over, right? First, you gotta get them to sit and lay down, right? And then once you get them to lay down, to a laying down position, then you just roll the dog over, as long as they're comfortable with that, and then treat them. Roll them over, treat them, right? And then after a while, when you're at the same time while you're rolling them over, you're using the command, right? Roll over, right? Roll over. You roll them over. You roll over. You roll them over. Give them a treat. You do that enough times, and they'll put two and two together, right? Oh, if Dad says roll over, so if I do this, what he said when we were training, then Dad'll give me a treat for that, right? So after a while, with consistency, they just learn this, right? Oh, if he says roll over, if I roll over, I'll get a treat. Done. Foregone conclusion. But again, consistency is everything with an animal. So when we get up in the morning, I'll get dressed. I don't even have coffee. I put her out first thing. She wanders around for a couple of minutes while I wake up and get my poop in a group, and that's just, you know, blowing my nose, having my morning constitutional, and throwing my jacket, and we go outside for a peanut poop right away. Go outside and get that done. And then throughout the day, you know, she knows that sometime during the day we're going to go for a nice long walk, whether it be around the block here, or whether I take her to a dog park, or we go to a lake, or whatever the adventure happens to be that day. She knows that midday we're going to go have an adventure. She knows that I feed her between 5 and 6 o'clock every night, so she knows, right, supper's coming at that time every day, right? And then I let her sit outside till it starts to get dark out, and then I bring her in, so she knows at some point during the evening I'm gonna call her in, right? And see, here's the thing, is Dory is smart enough that, you know, sometimes I'll call her in and she doesn't want to come in, right? If I think that she's possibly in danger, or, you know, there's a reason for it, I'll call her in and she'll come. But if I don't see any reason why she can't stay out there a little longer, right? Just means I gotta keep a little closer eye on her in the dark. You know, I tell her to stick close where I can see her, and I'll let her stay out there as long as she wants, as long as there's no danger to her, or she doesn't get surprised by anybody. But we're in a pretty secluded spot here, so she lays outside the RV. She'll lay outside the RV from morning to night. She doesn't want to come inside, and you know what? I don't blame her. Except on rainy days. Rainy days, she spends the day inside, you know. And in that case, you know, I just account for it. I have toys for her and games that we play inside to keep her keep her occupied so she's not bored silly, right? You know, and then if it's raining hard that day and we got to go for a walk in the rain, well, and that's a wet adventure. Yeah, so she knows consistency. There's consistency in her life, and she is all about that, you know. And for that's when they survive the best. And you know what? There's homeless people with dogs, and even with homeless people, there's still consistency. You know, they know they're going to start walking at this time every day. You know, they know that if they can, well, you know what? Maybe not, because I've seen guys that, you know, they feed their dog part of what they would have. So, and that's not the healthiest thing, but you know, even homeless people have to have a pet. As long as they're not hurting the dog. You know, and some dogs like being on the go like that, right? So, you know, to each his own. But for her, for my girl, it's all about consistency. And she loves the consistency. And because I've never hurt her, she'd have to fuck up really bad in order for me to get mad at her. And that's not to say it hasn't happened, but she doesn't like it when I get mad at her, so she tries really hard not to do anything. So she knows if she listens to me, as long as she listens to me and does what I ask her, she gets all the love and attention, and snacks she can handle, as you can tell by her size. She's a little spoiled. What can I say? So, yeah. Be consistent with your dog and be patient with your dog, and your dog will always do what it can to please you, and that's how you train him. I'm going to leave this here for now. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching. If you want to like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that. To all my 103 subscribers, I love you, and I appreciate you. Just remember, keep smiling. Makes everybody wonder what you're up to. See you next week, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm back. So, for this dog training video, you know what? I'm just learning how to do this YouTube thing. So, there's probably some things that I missed. If you have any questions about training your animal, or any questions about anything that I did, feel free to leave them down in the comments. If I can help answer your questions, I'll do that. But thinking about it later, there's probably a couple of things that I missed, but basically it's all there. Any dog that is loved and gets lots of attention, and gets lots of exercise, is going to be easy to train. Okay, if you don't exercise a dog, they're going to be all wound up. They're going to be looking to release that pent up energy, so they're not going to be as easy to train. Right? So again, a tired dog is a well-behaved dog, and an easy to train dog, right? And you have to remember that when you're training a dog's attention span is about that big. You know, A dog's attention span is on average about 5 seconds, right? So you have to keep engaging them, right? And sometimes that takes a little work and patience all on its own. Um, but once you have them engaged, and you keep them engaged, um, i.e., you know, training the treats, they're fairly easy to train. But when you um, are trying to um, train out a bad habit, um, if you don't catch that dog as they're doing it or right after they did it, there's no point in disciplining, because at that point they're wondering, well, what did I do? Because their attention span is only 5 seconds, right? By the time you thought about it and decided to react to it, they're on to something else, right? So you can give them shit, but it's for nothing, right? You have to catch them as they're doing it, right? And then you can correct them, right? And it doesn't have to be a hard correction. You don't have to yell at them. You don't have to give them shit. You don't have to smack them, right? Just give them a little correction, right? A little no, right? Dory knows the word no very well. Sometimes she chooses not to listen to it, in which case, she, she doesn't get grief, but she doesn't get the attention that she wants. So she's not going to do that because it doesn't. There's no reward in it, right? She's looking for what will get her rewards, whether it be attention, whether it be snacks, whether it be love, right? I've had Dory. When Lori was in the hospital, they allowed me to take Dory up to the room, because she is so well behaved. And Dory is a little bit of well, she's because of her breed. Okay, so Dory is Akita crossed with Collie. I'm not sure if it's Border Collie. I'm not sure what kind of Collie, but I know it's Akita and Collie. The Akita in her, and the Collie actually is there's a protective thing in there, right? So if Dory sees something sketchy or sees somebody sketchy, right, or something that doesn't feel safe to her, she will either growl or she will bark, right? She did this in the hospital once. Late night, we were there. I was there especially late, and the lights were low because Lori was sleeping. And a nurse came in to give her meds. Well, Dory barked, right? I caught it right then and there, and I didn't give her shit. I just said no. You don't need to do that here. And she never did it again. She never did it again. Nurses were coming in and out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's out cold. Or yeah, sometimes we're all sleeping in the room. And Dory didn't flinch twice because she knew that they came in consistently. They knew that they did it every night, and that I wasn't worried about it, so she didn't need to be worried about it, right? And Dory is not a barker. She's not a dog that barks at everything. She will not bark unless she feels a need to warn me about something, right? If she sees a sketchy leaf or a, piece of paper or some dude walking down the street sketching out or whatever, she'll give a little growl, right? Or maybe a low bark, just to let me know that, hey, Dad, there's something there you need to pay attention to. And then I will tell her, all right, that's all right, or good girl, she's being guard dog. She knows. Are you being guard dog? Yeah, I'm being guard dog, Dad. She knows that. So, I tell her you either don't need to worry about it, or good girl for barking for it. So that's her and I learning how to communicate. Okay? But that didn't happen overnight. That took years to cultivate, right? Years of patience and consistency, right? And don't ever train a dog. If you're frustrated or upset, don't train your dog when you're frustrated or upset, because all that's going to do is confuse them, and you might not get the required outcome you want, and that's just setting everybody up for disaster, you and the dog. So you have to be in a certain frame of mind to train your pet, right? Calm, cool, and collected, right? Always calm, cool, and collected. All kinds of patience and consistency, right? And always end your training session on a good note, right? Even if you have to backtrack a little bit. Say you're teaching your dog to roll over, and they're just not getting it, right? So stop. So back up. Go to a command that they know. Get them to sit and lay down, right? Treat them, love them up, and then just leave it at that, right? And then the next training session, right? Get them to lay down, and then try the rollover again, right? And you got to remember to say it, roll over, as you're rolling her over, right? So then she associates the word roll over with the action to roll over, right? As soon as she associates that word with that action, it's a done deal. You do it a few more times, to get the consistency, and once she figures it out, it's a done deal. Trained. On to the next thing. And so it's not that hard. Yeah. It's more monotonous than anything, but dogs love to be stimulated. When you're training your dog, it's a form of stimulation, right? They enjoy that, and if they get treats and snacks in the process, well, that's even better, right? Just remember to end your training session on a positive note. Always end your training session on a positive note. And yeah, have fun training your dog, everybody. See you next week.